The Altamont Speedway, 60 miles east of San Francisco, was a remote racetrack located amidst the rolling hills of Alameda County. Owned by ex-racing driver Dick Carter, it was an unlikely candidate for a major rock festival.
Dick Carter, his biggest audience ever before was he had 6,000 people show up for a demolition derby. It's Thursday afternoon, and the Stones people don't know exactly what to do, but they got to look at it. So they get a traffic helicopter from one of the local radio stations, and they take Rock Scully and Michael Lang, the producer of Woodstock, who showed up for some reason, and they fly over to Altamont. Rock looks out and he sees oil-stained asphalt, broken glass everywhere, just this horrible panorama. And he's looking out there going, what the heck? And he hears Michael Lang go, this is perfect, we can do this here.
And like that, Altamont had a green light. With only a day to prepare the venue, the road crew rushed to set up this new site. The Stones team had already begun building the stage and organizing the lighting rig at Sears Point, and this was simply dismantled and re-erected at Altamont. There was no time to properly evaluate or rethink the original plans, although upon his arrival, tour manager Sam Cutler immediately had concerns.
The major problem was that the stage that had been perfect for Sears Point because it was going to be on the side of the hill was now at the bottom of a hill, and the stage was knee-high. So it was effortlessly easy for people to get on it. The show was on a Saturday. I saw the place midday on Friday for the first time and was horrified. And there was already 100,000 odd people on site. And this stage was isolated in the middle of them, right? So we tried to make barricades of trucks and stuff around it and get set up for a show. And I knew on the Friday this was going to be a massive public order problem.
The show went ahead. With no food or water stands, no amenities of any kind, and only basic medical services on site, the 300,000 concertgoers who flocked to the venue had no idea what was awaiting them. It was the very end of the 60s, the last mass congregation of the counterculture before a new decade began. This should have been a celebration.
The sun came up, it was sort of a gray day, and then at some point they sort of officially let people in, and this mob of young people came rushing down the hill with the blankets and trying to grab themselves, a tiny little space to sit. And the mood was definitely cheerful and fun and like, yes, this is going to be like Woodstock. This is groovy. I couldn't make it to Woodstock, but I'm here.
But it did not take long for the atmosphere to change.
The problem was there was a lot of LSD, bad acid, bad drugs, lots of cheap booze. So by the time the show opened at midday on the Saturday, you had 300,000-400,000 people completely out of it. And the fights began, and it just degenerated from there.
With the Hells Angels, a visible presence around the stage and throughout the festival grounds, at midday, the first act appeared, Santana. Halfway through the performance, San Francisco peace activist and promoter Bert Kangerson was the first of many victims to face the wrath of the concert's brutal security force.
This overweight Latino, stark naked, whipped out of his brains on LSD that was probably laced with methadone and guzzling Red Mountain wine. He wanders down the hill into the front of the stage where the Hells Angels are. And I mean, this is just like bad news right away. And Bert sees this happening, and he jumps down and he starts in on this all men are brothers, and begging the Angels not to beat this guy. They turn on Bert, and they rain pool cues down on him. They bust him up so good, he has 60 stitches in his head.
It was just the beginning. The Angels' presence on the stage and at the front of the audience increased. And as the Jefferson airplane took their places for the second performance, it was hard to distinguish the band from the bikers. More of the crowd were singled out for beatings, and when the airplane's lead singer Marty Balin tried to intervene, he too was attacked.
These guys were the real thing. They weren't the little biking club that they had at Hyde Park. They've got psychopaths and murderers and ex-cons and God knows what in there. They're bad news.
Yeah, it's all right. It's kind of weird up here.
Hey, man, I'd like to mention that the Hells Angels just smashed Marty Balin in the face and knocked him out for a bit. I'd like to thank you for that.
There's other ways.
Wait, is this on? You're
Cameron?
talking to me, I'm going to talk to you.
I'm not talking to you, man. I'm talking to the people that hit my lead singer in the head.
You're talking to my people.
Right.
Now, let me tell you what's happening.
Man,
What's
you're not
happening? Hey! Oh!
No!
Hold it.
No!
This was scary. This was scary and sort of rationally scary. We weren't inventing it. It was